In a world shaped by voices, difficult conversations can no longer be avoided. Leaders must be transparent. The people want to listen. The people want answers. Hi, my name is CHANDA KAELA and I bring you Open Mic Conversation, a show that bridges the gap between leadership and the general public.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Please note that the discussions held on this program are intended for informational and debate purposes. The opinions voiced by our guests are their own and do not represent the views of Ingoma Television. We encourage our viewers to engage critically and form their own informed perspectives on the topics discussed.
Hello and welcome to Open Mic Conversation. I'm your host, CHANDA KAELA. Today we have a special audition where we get to sit with an aspiring candidate who is a member of parliament for Chilanga North. All right. So today's edition on Open Mic Conversation, we get to dive deep in the conversations that we had last week, but with a different guest, a different aspiring candidate who is trying to voice out one of the few things or some of the few things that Chilanga North is going and ranting about. So on today's conversation, we have Mr.Chikupule, who is standing as the aspiring candidate of Chilanga North. And in this society or in this vicinity, we have him live here on Ingoma TV channel 109 on Open Mic Conversation, where we get to bridge the gap between leadership and the general public. Good afternoon, Mr. Chikupule, and welcome to Ingoma TV.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have people who know you on different pages, different platforms, and they know you as a father, they know you as an uncle, they know you as different things. But today we want to get to know you beyond politics. Who is Mr. Chikupule beyond politics?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Professionally, Chikupule is... I'm a civil engineer by profession. And on the other hand, I'm also an accounting and finance person. Right. So I wear two masks, one of engineering and one of finance and business. Right. I'm 47 years old. Okay, I'm married with children, and I'm a Christian, of course. You know, that's basically in a nutshell who I am. And I'm an aspiring candidate on an independent ticket for Chilanga North constituency.
Okay, so that's quite interesting, knowing that the fact that you're an accountant and you're also somebody who's aspiring to be a candidate, an independent candidate for that matter. So last week we had a show where we got to talk about certain people raised concerns about independent candidates being able to stand, and then people are wondering, how are you going to progress without a backing of a political party? So I believe for people who are in Chilanga North, they want to understand, how is a political candidate who is standing as an independent party going to manage the affiliate of Chilanga North?
That's an interesting conversation that you bring up. The candidates that are standing as independents this time around, yes, there are a lot more. But this is not the first time that we're seeing independent candidates and independent members of parliament. Independent members of parliament really work with the government of the day. And it's much easier that way because you are not really in opposition of the government as compared to standing on either the left side or the right side. So it makes it easier for us to be able to even deliver development to the areas that need that development or to our constituencies.
All right.
Yes.
So indeed, Chilanga is one of those constituencies that have been grappling with infrastructure, they've been grappling with road development and any other development issues. So now, we're looking at an independent candidate going into Chilanga North and trying to stand, or rather aspiring as a candidate. What are some of the visions that you have for people in Chilanga North? What are some of the things that people from Chilanga North should expect from you as an independent candidate?
Well, firstly, we are aware that Chilanga North is a new constituency that has been created, or that was created with the passing of the famous Bill 7 that brought a lot of controversy in this country. Some were really against it and quite a lot were for it. And I should say that that bill was actually a very progressive bill, because now we have seen some of the developments that it is bringing, such as the delimitation of these constituencies. What this means for Chilanga North is that Chilanga North, from the initial wards that were in the entire Chilanga, we are restricted to only 6 wards. And when we are talking of development delivery, it means then that in the next budget that we are going to have going forth, we are looking at the CDF that government is so much talking about it, in excess of 40 million kwacha today, going only to one side of the constituency, and this is going to enhance development in the area.
Okay, interesting, March, because you brought about the issue of Bill 7. And I believe yesterday when the president was going to Mazabuka, he was literally talking about that bill, and he was talking about how Gary Nkobo was in opposition of all that and all that. So now that you are here on Ingoma TV channel 109, and you're talking about some of the benefits that this bill is bringing to the people of Chilanga North, there was a question that was brought about last time, and this is a question where if there's a bill that has been put up in Parliament, or rather if there's a policy that is in Parliament and that is against the people of Chilanga North constituency, what is your role as a member of Parliament who is standing as an independent candidate? How do you vote for it? Do you vote with or against it?
In the first place, when you go to Parliament, you are not representing yourself. You are representing a constituency of people, okay? And in this case, you go to Parliament to enact laws. That is the role of a member of Parliament. So when laws and bills are coming up in Parliament, the first thing that you say is, go back to your people, okay? Hold consultative meetings with them, come up with a consensus with the people, and then come and vote in accordance with what the people want. Ideally, most of the bills that would be brought to Parliament really would be progressive bills, I want to believe. So, and therefore, once in consultation with the people or with the constituencies of Chilanga North, we would then be able to decide together whether we are voting for or against this. And that is one of the advantages of being a member of Parliament, because you don't really toil whether it's on party lines, but you come and look at what is the interest of the people that you are representing.
All right, so there's a general concern from the people of the general public to say, once we elect these people into power, things all of a sudden switch. Before, it's that you are employing us into power, and then after we employ these people into power, everything, the dynamics change. It becomes to, I am doing this. It stops being the people of Chilanga. What should guarantee the people of Chilanga North to say Mr. Chikupule is a different candidate and is an inspiring candidate who is going to stand on his word, and he's not going to turn around and tell us and make us look like fools at the end of the day?
Very interesting question. And these are things that we have seen, that sometimes we vote people into power, and the moment they get into office, they change. You know, and most people, that change really is as a result of them getting into office out of personal ambition only. My coming in to stand as an independent member of parliament is not as a result of my personal ambition alone, but it is as a result of the overwhelming response that I received from the constituents of Chilanga North, who says, look, we feel you can make us a good leader and we feel you can represent us very well in parliament. This position, or these positions of members of parliament, councillors, and political office, ideally, is about service. It requires people that are selfless, that give themselves to come and serve the people.
All right. Interesting, Mash. I like the fact that you are bringing out the people before anything else. But there are certain concerns such as healthcare facilities in Chilanga. Chilanga still, by now, still does not have a mall where people can easily do their shopping, and it does not have the proper and right infrastructure. People are complaining about dilapidated roads. People are complaining about infrastructure, health posts, and other things. What are some of the things that you, as Mr. Chikupule, are going to bring to the people of Chilanga North that the person before you hasn't promised and has failed to deliver?
It's not just about promising what needs to be delivered. We are bringing a different approach now, because it is the people of Chilanga that are putting me into office to go and represent them. So what I am doing is to represent the aspirations and the vision of the people of Chilanga. We talk about infrastructure. Chilanga itself as a constituency is a dynamic constituency because it's got a cosmopolitan area, which is nearer to the central district of Lusaka. It's got a farming community around, which is a little bit further away. So the needs of the constituency are different. Okay? When we look at road infrastructure, some of these things that you're bringing out now, the goodness is I'm coming from an engineering background, from a civil engineering background, and therefore I understand the issues of infrastructure that we need. Our roads are dilapidated for sure. Our infrastructure in terms of our clinics, our schools need a lot of improvement. And therefore I will work with everyone that is involved, all stakeholders that are within the community, both on the political side and on the civic side, in terms of leadership, to be able to deliver the much needed infrastructural development in the area.
Okay, interesting. So infrastructure still remains one of the things that people from Chilanga district or Chilanga North people are still grappling with, are still complaining about. And then when we talk about an independent party, we want to find out how is the funding going to be about? Because you're an independent party, certain people want to understand, to say, okay, for this person who is standing as an independent candidate, where is the funding going to come from? Where are the resources going to come from? And how is he going to be able to achieve these things?
Okay. Interesting to say. I want to borrow from the president's words a few weeks ago, or is it a few days ago, that he was saying that he is the chief driver of development in the country. Okay. And government set up a program that is for the development of the entire country. We have now the much talked about CDF that has brought development closer to the people.
Before I cut you short, the same CDF has brought development and has also brought a lot of controversy out there.
Yes.
Certain people are complaining to say the only people that are benefiting from that CDF is either it's due to nepotism or it's because they're affiliated to a certain political party. So now how do you ensure that that CDF that is being out there is given to the right people, is in the right hands, and is able to ensure that the constituency of Chilanga North is in the right ship?
Constituency Development Fund is allocated to all constituencies. It doesn't matter whether it belongs to an independent or the ruling party or the opposition, whether there's a ruling party member of parliament or whether there's an independent member of parliament or whether there's an opposition member of parliament. Constituency Development Fund is given to all, and it is the responsibility of government to deliver development to all citizens. What our role, or what my role would be as an independent member of parliament, is to ensure that the funds and the programs that are created by government do not just sit in government, but is delivered to the people of Zambia. And therefore, I become a conduit through which this development is delivered.
Okay, interesting much. So yesterday, people of Chilanga, rather, let me talk about people from Freedom, were attacked by some cadres, yeah? So we want to understand what your root is when it comes to political violence. Because people from Chilanga, especially people from Freedom, have complained that yesterday there was an incident where cadres from Chawama, or rather cadres from different political parties, entered their hoods, entered their areas and their homes. So we want to understand, in an aspect of political violence, what is your role and how do you ensure that there's a measure of political violence that is being prevented to ensure that we have a free and fair elections at the end of the day. People are complaining to say, okay, CDF is there, quite all right. But most of the times, this CDF is only given to people that are truly and well connected to the Member of Parliament. That is one of the issues that people from Chilanga North are complaining about. And then the second thing is political violence. How is you as a Member of Parliament or as an aspiring Member of Parliament trying to ensure that you preserve the fact that there's political violence, you ensure that there's free and fair elections in your ward or in your constituency?
Political violence has got no space in this dispensation. Okay? And some people may want to propagate it, but we must ensure that all of us take precautions such that we run free and fair campaigns and we have a free and fair election. Those that are peddling political violence and those that want to send people to go and beat up people, I want to say this, is that they are scared. Because let us be able to compete on ideas, not on fists, okay? Because we are living in a democratic society, we are living in a new era where we must be able to engage together, okay? I must be able to talk to you, to say, my sister, look, this is what I feel, or how I feel we must be able to run things. It doesn't mean then that when I have a different opinion, then you must start to fight with me and you must start to beat me up. Political violence has no space whatsoever. And I want to call upon all the people of Chilanga, can we please run a clean, violence-free campaign such that we have a clean election, clean and credible election.
All right, interesting. You're still watching Ingoma TV channel 109 and I'm your host, CHANDA KAELA, right here in the studio with my special guest who is the aspiring candidate over Chilanga North, all right? So we know to a fact that an MP is somebody that represents us in Parliament. He's somebody who helps us debate for the people and about the people. So if you're watching this platform, all you gotta do is simply send us a message about what you think about this aspiring candidate. Let us know what you think is right, what you think should be developed. But before that, we go on a very short break, and after that, we come back and get to dive right into some of the challenges that our honorable right here is thinking are some of the challenges that people from Chilanga North is going through. Stay tuned and keep watching. Hello and welcome back to Open My Conversation. We're still discussing and diving deep into the development or the growth of Chilanga North. I'm here with Mr. Chikupule, who is an aspiring candidate of Chilanga North. So we want to get to hear about some of the challenges that people from Chilanga North are facing. All right. So before that, we had an aspiring candidate of the same constituency, which is Chilanga North, and he gave us some of his few points that he felt like Chilanga North is slugging in. So today we have one of the aspiring candidates again to give us some of the challenges that we believe he's going to help tackle and he's going to help face once he's elected in the parliament. So, Mr. Chikupule, there's been rumors that you have withdrawn from your position as member of parliament or aspiring member of parliament for Chilanga North. And then for some time now, this rumor has been spreading like a wildfire. What is your word to that?
It's propaganda. I'm still in the race. I have not withdrawn by any means whatsoever. And abantu bakujilanga nonse nabantu bakuchilanga bonse mufuniko oziba kuti banzatu benango baona kuti baluza manje bayamba na boza yokamba kuti yai mulenga banamulipira so anachita withdraw. Kulibe muntu ananilipirapo ndalama zili zonse, kulibe ndalama kweni natengapo kuli konse, ine mwanisanga kuti niende niyimirire as your member of parliament, and because of that nienda mpaka pa 13 August bonse tienda kuvota. We are not withdrawing, and we have not withdrawn. We have not taken any money from anyone whatsoever. So we are still in the race.
All right, so this is pretty much interesting because this rumor has been going out there like a wildfire.
It's all lies.
Exactly.
It's all lies and propaganda which is being started by other enemy camps who have seen that they are losing.
So, Mr. Chikupule, we still want to find out what are some of the challenges that people from Chilanga North are facing and that you will tackle immediately that these people vote you into power.
Okay, like I have mentioned before, Chilanga is a dynamic community. It's a dynamic constituency, and though certain challenges cut across board, but we have specific areas where we really need to look into. The biggest challenge that we face now is that of infrastructure. Okay, we need more schools in the area. Obviously, we need more clinics in the area. We need more, if possible, like the president has promised us, that we need a district hospital as well in the area. Now, when we are talking about infrastructure, we are mindful that Chilanga North is also a farming community. So when we are talking about infrastructure, we should be looking at what supports agriculture in the area. Okay, we should be looking at infrastructure like places where people can be able to dip their animals, such that we eradicate this issue of animals getting diseased. Okay, we should be looking at infrastructure that supports agricultural development, roads which should be able to connect all the places in our place. We have a number of graveyards. Actually, one of the community members highlighted something that was very interesting to us, that in all these graveyards that we have in the area, none of them has a shelter. And therefore, we should be able to build shelters in these graveyards where people can actually be able to take refuge in cases of rain, or in cases of where, when we're taking our beloved ones, our departed beloved ones, we can do body viewing from there. We need to be able to put toilets in these places so that people do not just defecate in open areas, as this is a health risk. So the issue of infrastructure is one that should be priority, because we have farmers that should bring their produce into town, and some of the roads unfortunately have been neglected. We have a bit of work being done on roads like the Mpamba, Mano, Mwembeshi road, which I personally believed we should be able to push such that we can pave that road, bring it to standard, to bituminous standard, such that we can be able to do a ring around, and then for the farmers to be able to bring their produce close to town. We have areas like Chibonta, which are right in the end, and transportation of people into town is also a problem because of the nature of the roads there. These are roads that we must also make sure that at least from where the road ends at Sopelo ZNS camp, it goes as far as it comes to connect into Mwembeshi, so that even the people in the farming community there can be able to access town quickly, because this is where everyone brings their produce.
Okay, interesting. So we believe that every candidate who comes on board comes with their manifesto, they come with their promises and come with their stories. And then out there we have a special person who is seated out there, who is a youth, and they're wondering to say, why should I vote for this candidate? What makes them different? Because each candidate comes here and gives us promises. What is going to make you different? Everybody is coming and talking about the same thing, dilapidated roads. I'm going to build infrastructure. I'm going to do this. What makes you so different from the rest?
What makes me different is personal engagement. Okay? The people of Chilanga, you've asked me a question about the youths of Chilanga. Why should you, the youths of Chilanga, be able to vote for me as your member of parliament? Firstly, we need youth development in the area, and youth development starts from education. Okay, it starts from skills training or vocational training. Okay, there are those that have been advantaged or have had the advantage and the privilege of being trained. It means then looking into industry that is able to provide for employment for these youths. We have quite a number of industry that has come up in Chilanga, but you do find that some of the people employed there don't come from within the constituency. Yes, they are Zambian and everyone is Zambian, but we should be able to lobby these industries and these companies and the organizations that are coming up to say, look, you are operating within a community. Could you kindly, please, give us certain space so that we can also get some of our skilled youths into employment, some of our youths that are already trained in certain areas to be employed in those industries. Beyond that, we need to see a situation where we can have skills training centers within the constituency where people don't need to go so very far away, but within their communities there they can learn carpentry, they can learn bricklaying, they can learn mechanics, welding, and so many other things that they could be able to help themselves sustain themselves. So when the youths are voting, they are voting for somebody who is interacting with them, someone who knows and understands properly. Iya bosi ise ninchito chabe inendine driver but in person koni opportunity yako bati ni peze konchito. Iya inenfuna nikachako ka training. There are so many programs that are there, especially in the MP's office, where we can get some of these youths to go for training into machine operators such as graders, excavators, and mind you, machine operators are some of the best paid people. They even get more money than some of the people that have done tertiary courses like accounts and finance and whatever. So we need to get to a point where we are able to help the youths get training. Those that cannot get formal training, let them be assisted in terms of maybe agricultural products, because some of them have their own land. All they need to do is to be trained, okay, in animal husbandry or crop growing and things like that.
Indeed. But from Chilanga, vamachita complain maningi. People from Chilanga are complaining about the fact that imagine you put somebody into power, they give you all these promises, but at the end of the day, they're under-delivered. One thing that is a major concern is transparency and accountability. So when people now get voted into power, there's a limited level of transparency because now, Mwankalama boss. Before that, it changes. Before that, it is no, you are employing us into power. But after we employ you into power, things all of a sudden change. How do you ensure that there's accountability and transparency for the people of Chilanga North? And they're not just voting for a candidate who is out there giving them the manifesto, giving them the promises, and giving them the preachings. How is it that they shall be ensured that there's accountability and transparency in the constituency of Chilanga North?
Okay, I mentioned this earlier in our interview that everyone that comes speaks about the same thing. Generally,
right.
Everyone wants to have good roads, good infrastructure. The difference that I am bringing to the table is that of interaction with the people. these people, or the people of Chilanga, you are putting me into office. You are sending me into office. And if you have sent somebody, it means that you expect a response or a reply. Chilibonga mwana wamutuma kuti kanigulile bread pa shop paja. Uyo mwana afunika aenda ku shop aenda ogula bread. Akasiriza aibwelesa bread. Ngati sana bwele nayo bread afunika obwela nanga why suna bwelese bread yeta kutuma. Iya imami na peza kuti bread ya sila. O ngati sina sile na peza kuti bread banaikira inachoka pa 10 kwacha ni 12 kwacha. So nipe mpako 2 kwacha niende nipakirepo ni bwelese bread. Bantu bamu Chilanga are sending me to parliament. Bantu bamu Chilanga mundituma ku parliament. Bantu bamu Chilanga mulentuma ku parliament. Bantu bamu Chilanga munituma ku parliament. And as a result, mukanituma nifunika na bweza reply. Because anything I'm going to do from the constituency is as a result of my interaction from there. That is the beginning. Because if I don't interact with the people in Chilanga, how am I going to know what the people of Chilanga want? And that is why I mentioned earlier, this role is not only about your own personal ambition. It is people that have entrusted you with power and put you on a seat. Mind you, 5 years maoneka ingono. Okay? Before you know it, you are in an election again and you want to be re-elected. But if you were not working nabantu, unaenda waendelela parliament, the next time you are coming back to say, yeah, nipe pako voti, ninaenda manje, ninapunzira, niliko na experience, that is not what the people of Chilanga want. The people of Chilanga bafuna muntu webaza tuma ku parliament. Uyo muntu ndiye azankala bridge woleta vonse vili mu government, ve government ipanga kuti vabwela pangena na mu Chilanga.
Indeed. All right, it's quite interesting, and you're still watching Open Mic Conversation with me, CHANDA KAELA, and my special guest right here, who is an aspiring candidate of Chilanga North. So, by Chilanga, mwala tuwa kufema comments or some of the things that you feel are the major challenges in Chilanga North. All you have to do is simply drop a text message. If you're watching us via Facebook, if you're watching us via Top Stitch Channel 109 on Ingoma TV, leave us or drop us a comment or a text message and tell us what are some of the challenges that you feel that these aspiring candidates or these candidates who are aspiring to be members of parliament are not tackling. Let us know what are the battles that you're facing in Chilanga North. Okay, so we are getting to listen to different stories, different manifestos, and different people are coming on board to tell us about the things and the changes that we are going to make. So Mr. Chikupule, we want to find out how many years or how many days should we give you in power as people from Chilanga North for us to ensure that you're going to give us a sustainable development in Chilanga and you're going to bring infrastructure development in Chilanga? How many days or years should we give you?
The full mandate, the time that we have ahead of us, people of Chilanga, is the entire 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, in my campaign trail, we have discussed quite a number of things. And those things have been points of action. And points of action are such that at the end of the 5 years mandate that I will be given, we will come back and say, out of the 20 items that we gave you, Mr.Chikupule, to go to parliament to do, how many have you done? It's going to be a marking sheet and a score sheet. If I have done 2 out of the 20 or 30 items that the people of Chilanga have given me, then I would have underperformed. And then it means I am not worthy to be a member of parliament to represent the people of Chilanga. So at the end of it all, we must say, okay, out of vintu vetina kupasa kuti wendo tichitire represent kuchilanga. Wachitapo vingati, so that itione whether ndiwe muntu wa right, ndiwe muntu we ufunika, kunkala MP watu. And I'm pretty sure that at the end of the tenure of me as MP for Chilanga, most of those things would have been done. Those which we will have challenges with, we will be able to interact with the community and say, apachina vuta nichi, and these will be issues that will be justified.
Indeed. All right. So healthcare, infrastructure, and education still remain some of the things that people from Chilanga North are complaining about, constantly talking about. What is your approach when it comes to education? I want us to find out, because education is one of the keys. We talk about education to be one of the things that help us as a community or as a constituency to grow bigger. So what are your plans in the education sector for the people of Chilanga North?
We have high schools that are there in Chilanga North. We have primary schools that the people of Chilanga North are crying that they must be upgraded into high schools, so that we don't have a situation where children have to commute. First, they have to walk 3-4 kilometers to go and get on a bus or on a lift, and then get to another 10 kilometers to get to school. Okay, because you know that if you're going to walk 3 kilometers to school, by the time you get to school, you're obviously tired. Government has put in place policies where they want education to be developed. My role then as Member of Parliament for Chilanga is to lobby to ensure that, one, the schools that need upgrading are upgraded into high schools. High school teachers are provided there. Additional infrastructure is provided there. In places like Mpamba, Mano, we are lucky that we have a high school at Mwembeshi. We have another high school in Lusaka West that was recently opened. But we need to do a lot more so that we are able to provide basic education. Beyond that, we also need tertiary education in form of skills training centers that we will work with industry and government and other stakeholders to be able to bring these facilities to Chilanga.
All right, interesting match. You're still watching Open Mic Conversation on channel 109, that is Ingoma TV. And I'm your host, CHANDA KAELA, and we're still talking about the development or the growth of Chilanga North. Right about now, we go on a short break, and once we're back, we get to dive deep into some of the things that we feel Mr.Chikupule is going to give us as people from Chilanga North. Keep watching and stay tuned. Welcome back to Ingoma TV channel 109, and you're still watching Open Mic Conversation. The phone line is right on your screens. All you've got to do is simply let us know what are some of the challenges that you're facing, people from Chilanga North. Before this, 5 years ago, we had an election. Before this, now we are having an election on the 13th of August 2026. These are the general elections where we get to employ a councillor, a member of parliament, the president at large, as well as a mayor. So number 3 for kuishiba mwe bantu ba Mchilanga. Finisho for mrefu haya ba member of parliament ba Chilanga North. Avenu ba michitile as people of Chilanga North. What are some of the challenges that you have been facing? Finishi pinto for mre facing or for mrefu hata ba members of parliament abalechita aspire venga michitila. Alright? So at this point, I would love for us to get to understand what Mr. Chikupule's vision is for the people of Chilanga North. And then nowadays we get to see that politics have become a game of revenge. Most people, it's either you're competing against a political party, it's either it's UPND and or the other party fighting against each other. We want to get to find out, how are we assured that it is not a game of politics where you want to get avenge, or where you want to revenge from the previous member of parliament, what they did? You talk about their shoots, what they did not do and what they're not doing right, and then you bring it out to the table. What are some of the things that we feel that your vision is not aligned in the revenge politics, and it is definitely aligned to the people of Chilanga North?
Me standing as an independent member of parliament, it means that I have supporters from the entire community. It doesn't matter whether they're UPND, whether they're NRPUP, whether they're RP or whatever political party. Vengefulness in the development has no space. Okay? The people that have been there before us, the members of parliament that have been there before us, I can name them, I think in the past, as far as I can remember, have contributed in their own way to the development of Chilanga, and Chilanga North to be specific. I will be picking up from where they have left from. Because remember, development is a continuous phase. It's not that it starts here, no. Okay? Every era has done their best to be able to bring us to where we are now. Because if they had not done, we would probably not even be sitting here. Okay? So I appreciate the fact that the previous members of parliament have done the best of their abilities. Okay, and therefore,
and before I cut you short, when we talk about the best of their ability, what are we exactly talking about? Because we're still grappling with infrastructure, we're still grappling with education, we're still grappling with health. What exactly do you mean when you say they've done the best? Because people of Chilanga North are still crying. So what is the best when it comes to you?
When I talk about your best, it means the best of your abilities ends, or your abilities end somewhere, and there must be somebody who must continue from where you have left off. Okay? So we have so many challenges in Chilanga that have not been addressed. A lot. Whether we're talking of infrastructure, we're talking of schools, and even the president alluded to this, that we have done what we can, and there is still a lot more to be able to do. And who are the best drivers to be able to do that lot? For Chilanga North, it is Mr.Chikupule who should be able to deliver the next lot over the next 5 years. Okay? So, revenge or politics of vengeance have got no space in this area of modern development. This I want to tell to all the people of Chilanga. Let us give due respect to those that have come before us, because without them, we would not have gotten to here.
Okay, so there's somebody out there who wants you to speak and express yourself in Nyanja. And then help them understand, because we've got different audiences,
okay,
different people.
Bantu bakuchilanga, ma politics ya ma revenge, ma politics yo menyana, ma politics yo sontana vikumo. No bantu bakujilanga, ma politics agulwana, agutondegana minwe. What we are doing, chetujita ono, veti chita manje, efo tule chita nomba, diashi diakuleta development. Mujitonga tuambaguti tuandalu sumpugo, do tuyanda. Tifuna chitukuko mchinyanja. Stifuna kuti tizibwelela mumbuyo. Vetenzerili last year tinkale na this year na next year na 5 years ikapita tikankale same. Sindie vetifuna evu. Bantu benzeko ma MP wonse banayeserela ko kufikira paja peba kwanisa. Elio kulibenango betiziba kuti paja peba na perera. Kulibe penango pamwamba peba ngapitilize, because siba kwanisa iyai. That's why nina bwela kuti apa peba siira banzatu na ise tiziyamba manje tiziendera pantu pamozi bantu bamuchilanga bonse. Nguti gatwendela nto mwitonse tubantu twamujilanga North kuti tulete rusumpugo uno uchilanga North nko tubora.
Some people that are watching us, they're trying to understand, to say, if you talk about the fact that abantu bambibali perera, what makes us so sure as the people from Chilanga North to say, so there's a person out there who is seated and is wondering to say, politicians are liars. This is a stereotype that you have been given. As an aspiring member of parliament, you should understand that there's a stereotype that is going around out there to say politicians are liars.
Politics are dirty.
Politics are dirty. So we want to get to find out what makes you so different as Mr. Chikupule Mlenga, who is standing as the aspiring member of Chilanga North.
Poyambira. One of the first things vetizachita mu Chilanga North is that we are going to constitute a council of elders. Tilina bantu bachikulile bali mu Chilanga, who must be able to steer us through this development, who must be able to guide us kuti bane vintu vyendekera nivi. Takamba maningi pa development, anyway development yeti kambapo is only infrastructure. But what about human development? Along the way, violence we have a culture that we've slowly been losing. Okay? And therefore, I feel that as a constituency, Chilanga North, tifunika tifake council yama elders, bantu bachikulile, both men and women, who must be able to guide us.
Mr. Chikupule, if you talk about elders, ngama youth bala ingira moshani mu Chilanga North.
Every Ndeland, apo mwikere mayo, you've come from a home that has parents. And those parents guide us, the young ones, to say mwana wandi nga ulefu okuikala bwino pachalo. Na wanda ukalaga botwa bantu anwanyiga. Nga tufuno nkala bwino na bantu pano paziko uziendela munjira iyi. Osa tukwana, osa menyana na bantu, osa chita bwanji. Where you are there, sorry I'm asking you this as a personal question. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Very soon you will be married. Okay. Kwali bentambi shimo. Okay. Isha kwebati. People must be able to guide. Let me give a very practical example. Nowadays, everywhere you go, kuri chilanga muliro. Chilanga muliro, chilanga muliro. Even some of the traditions that we're not doing chilanga muliro, nowadays, do chilanga muliro. So, yankala monga ni tradition yemanji. Nanga that chilanga muliro. What does it mean? Why are we doing it? Okay? It is only the elders that will explain it to us properly. Okay? There is no society is that develop popamba na bakulu to guide us. So, aba bakulu, they must come together to say within our community, bane, this is how we must be able to live. And even isebana, the generation that is following behind. Tifundika tizikonka, makolo akakamba kuti ichi nicho ipa, violence niyo ipa, is because banapitamo vambiri, veisete vana stiziba. And tifunika tizikonka makolo mumbuyo, because na ise one day, tizankala makolo, tilina vana, batikonka mumbuyo. Abo bana tifunika tibakulise munjira ya mushe, munjira ya chikristiani. Yes.
Alright, interesting. So you've been watching Open Mic Conversation, and I've been joined by Mr. Chikupule Mlenga, who is an aspiring member of parliament for Chilanga North. Alright, so about Chilanga North, I want to talk for some of the challenges that you feel that your aspiring candidate should be able to tackle. Ama challenges ama challenges abantu bali sabafumapo but tabachita manage. Alright, so this is one of this is more of our last 5 minutes of our show. So I would like you to give a word to the people out there, somebody who is watching and have lost interest in voting, because now we have youths that are saying it's not worth voting. So I'd love you to give your closing remarks to the people of Chilanga North, or the people out there, a youth out there who is planning on not voting. What is your word to that special person out there?
Petinangena mchilanga. After this adoption process in Ayamba, in these areas where we went, there were a lot of people benzo kambati ise stiza vota. Ise because muntu wetenzo funa sibana muikepo sibana mutenge mu adoption, so stiza vota. Nifuna okuchitani koni age mwe bantu bamuchilanga. Voting is the right of every citizen. Let us go out on 13th August kuti tikaende tikavote, and we must vote for candidate watu. And in this case, Pabu MP, I'm imploring everyone, bonse petankala, let us all rally behind it and the campaign my last days aya, we rally behind it Chikupule mulenga because ndiye muntu we bantu bonse tamvelana kuti bantu muchilanga, ndiye wetiza votela. Konse kwe muyenda whether uli kuchibonta, uli kumundengwa, uli kumano, kumpamba, uli kumwembeshi, uli kuchinyanja, kumubuyu, kuchibuyu, uli kwa shampule, uli munamalombwe, kukalemoni, uli kudolomite, uli kukasupe, uli kukawaya. Okay? Bonse bantu tamvelana kuti tiendo vota, and this time around bonse tivotela mulenga Chikupule. Bonse bajabenzo kamba kuti stiza vota chifukwa muntu wa tenzo funa sipana mfakepo. Iya chifukwa uyu muntu we batifakirapo. Sanga kwani senjito yabu MP. Here is an opportunity. You have a fresh mind, a breath of air. Let's go out in numbers and let's all go and vote for Mulenga Chikupule. Ndiye veni pempa bantu bonse ba Chilanga North. Ivi vintu, we are going to have a 5-year period pamozi. Yeti zambo 7 pamozi. Mavuto, monga mweti na kambira monse mweta pita Mchilanga. Mavuto ni ambiri. And tinga yakwa niseche pamozi, ngatitafaka mitu pamozi. Skuti ya MP akaenda, aendelela next kubomuona ni pa election day monga vevichitika muma places yenango na kubantu benango. This time around takamba kuti tifakapo MP azambo enda na bantu, azambo mvera mavuto ya bantu, azambo tandizira mu mavuto ya bantu. Elio uyo muntu ni Mulenga Chikupule. Pa 13th August ndiye wetiza votera.
Alright, so thank you so much.
One other thing I was going to forget. Kulibenango petiza enda mu mabuthi muja. Tizifunsa chabe kuti tisakira mandevu. Simbo yake ni slasher. Tiendo votela pachikwakwa pali Mulenga Chikupule.
Okay, so that is quite interesting because apaso ya fumine kutole umfafe makendo ama wiso ama shai. So lelo
ini slasher ichikwakwa.
So lelo to umfakwe fya kusana kwewa tulea mkusanga slasher. So if you're a person from Chilanga North, this has been your episode. This is something that you should engage with. This is a platform that has been created for you, the people of Chilanga, you, the people of Zambia, to ensure that you're electing a leader that is going to speak for you, speak with you, and stand by you. So make sure you go out there on the 13th of August 2026 and vote. You've been watching Open Mic Conversation with me, CHANDA KAELA, and Mr. Chikupule Mlenga, who is the aspiring candidate of Chilanga North. And our conversation has been bordered across the development of Chilanga North, as well as not having vengeful politics, but having free and fair elections. You have been watching me on Open Mic Conversations, and Mr. Chikupule, I'm really grateful for you coming on this platform.
Thank you very much.
Alright, so you've been watching Open Mic Conversation. This is me, CHANDA KAELA, and this is us from Ingoma TV channel 109 saying our goodbyes. Stay tuned and keep watching. Catch the repeats at exactly 20 hours on this platform. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 In a world shaped by voices, difficult conversations can no longer be avoided. Leaders must be transparent. The people want to listen. The people want answers. Hi, my name is CHANDA KAELA, and I bring you Open Mic Conversation, a show that bridges the gap between leadership and the general public.